The way you view and approach your leadership and your pastoral vocation is very different than the way the pastor down the street or the pastor in the other office next to you. Everybody has a different personality, a different experience, and it's important for us to be able to be aware of our approach. It's kind of like looking at a Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube doesn't change, but depending on what angle you're looking at it, the pattern is different. We see something different, and it's important for us to understand what is it that we are seeing, what is our approach to work, and then we can begin to understand, hey, what are other people seeing, and how can we collaborate and fit and work together better. But we're going to focus primarily on you as a leader, as a pastor right now, in terms of what your perspective and your approach specifically is to work. And that's why I'm going to talk about the working genius model, because other than DISC and what's different from it than Myers-Briggs or some of those other assessments is that this is very much related to how we approach work. And so when we use the word genius, we are not measuring your competency, your ability to do something. We are measuring your level of energy and the joy that you derive from doing these activities. And it's broken down into 6 basic activities that are necessary and required for doing any kind of work. If you want an overview of the model, we're not going to do that here. Head to the link in the description here and you could read it in my blog, or you can go to workinggenius.com and you can even fill out the assessment yourself. And we're going to take a look at my results, but you can do that again, workinggenius.com. It's $25 US. It takes 10 to 12 minutes, so it's relatively simple and fast process where you're going to get these results that we're going to look at, except they're going to be tailored to you. And it is a really enlightening process and helpful way for us to understand even the question of, hey, how am I being received as a leader? How is my leadership approach affecting our team, our organization? And what are some of the things that I bring to the table? And what are some of the things I maybe need to be aware of and adjust my leadership so that I can maybe bring more people around me in certain areas, or I just need to be cognizant of when I need to, what we say, regulate my genius. And so go to workinggenius.com, get that assessment, and you can even follow along with your results as we continue in this video and look at mine. And so early on, one of the first pages is going to be just a quick overview of your geniuses, just describing that. I'm a wonder discerner with invention, tenacity, and my middle 2 and my last 2 are galvanizing and enablement. And so really quick, the geniuses are going to provide, this next page is going to provide you with a fuller picture of what it means to have that as a genius. And so the question that you want to ask is, hey, does this resonate? Remember that we're ranking where you derive joy and energy. We're not rating your level of ability or competency in doing those things, because chances are that we as leaders have learned to develop and find ways to do these other things, and we've become good at and adapt at them. But we want to focus on, hey, what is energizing to me? Because that's going to be really important for us as leaders. And so you read these descriptions. Competencies really quick. I've covered what a genius is. Competencies is really those next 2. We derive some joy and energy, but it's not really sustaining. And then frustrations are things that are lower on that scale in terms of they don't give us a lot of energy. And in fact, they might be really quickly draining. So the one thing that I really want to highlight is this page where it talks about your pairing. It combines your top 2. Doesn't matter which one came first. And we're just going to read mine. And it's going to be relevant later on and in another video that I'm going to do. But it says people with this pairing derive real joy and satisfaction from using intuition and instincts to evaluate ideas and plans and to provide others with thoughtful feedback. Yes, I'm reading this out loud. I actually would encourage you to pause and read your results out loud. They tend to be extremely observant and deep in their thinking and express their insights using impactful words. I'm going to stop there. And yes, this does resonate with me. And so this next sentence is really a great clarifier. It was very clarifying for me when I read this. It says it's kind of a shadow side to my pairing. And it says this: because of their proclivity to nuance, they can sometimes be hesitant to declare certainty or express confidence in their own judgments. And so that for me rings so true because of my wonder. And I'm going to dive in a little bit to my pairing. I see so many nuances. I see so many things where things are possible and there's potential around me. And the discernment piece is similar in the sense of I'm seeing things, but in regard to a specific idea. But I'm refining a specific idea, but I'm also wrestling with the tension of all the other ideas we could wrestle with, all the other potential that is out there. And so when we talk about discernment, apart from a genius, but as an activity, so if your team is in the activity of discernment, one of the key factors of that as an activity is that you come to a conclusion, that you come to a firm decision at the end. And so this, as a leader, as a pastor, would be where I would struggle, is coming to that clear decision, because of the wonder side of me that is actually my number one, probably the genius that I lead with most. And so I'm going to be really aware of that going into those moments. And I'm going to have to build in and bring in some people, maybe an inventor that's going to help me stay focused on one solution. And yeah, that's what I would say would probably be the genius that I might need the most in those moments, in those kinds of meetings and conversations. My name is Michael Duick. I would love to chat with you about your results. You can contact me and ask what that would look like, coaching@michaelduick.com.